Hello and welcome to this episode of Back on Track with Masquerade. An almost, well, I'm not going to say unrecognisable song because you would recognise it, but there's so much work gone in on since the last episode. We've got a whole raft of new harmonies that are awesome, and I'm really happy with them. The song's been restructured, so there's a solo in the middle now. We've got vocals on either side, and it sounds much better balanced. There's been a wholesale revisiting of all the instruments to get the sounds right, massive work on the drums, a real overhaul of the sound, and I'm getting to the stage where I'm nearly ready to mix this one. I'm finally, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, and it's been a battle, this song. It's been an absolute sod to get finished, but we're nearly there. So let's have a listen and see what we think. Just wanted an extra little thing at the end there, a little guitar ditty. I'm quite pleased with it. I like the way it comes in just before the vocals actually finish. I ummed and ahed about whether or not they should do that, and in the end I decided, yes, I like it.
In this masquerade.
So that's quite a nice little lick, I like it. So all of that came from what I call my sketchbooking technique, which is basically record for 15 minutes, chop it all up into 1 bar chunks and keep the good stuff. Various phrases were recorded in their entirety, but that's just the way I solo now. I'm sold. It's had lots of good results in the recent songs that I've written. Every time I want to write a solo, because I get to forget attempting to write music. I just play my guitar for 15 minutes and enjoy playing the guitar with no ulterior motive, no agenda. I'm not trying to create the perfect melody. I'm just playing, and because it's relaxed and I accidentally find these little licks that might be 1 or 2 bars long, when I join them together in unusual and unexpected ways, then it's a really pleasurable creative experience. That's the point. I love the playing side of things, and having like a 15-minute session done, stick it in the book, go and do something else, come back the following day, the guitar's still set up, same effects are in play, do another 15-minute session. I can do as many of these as I want. It's completely relaxed and totally natural. And then when I'm in the mood to comp it all down, chop it all up into the bars and audition each individual phrase, and I enjoy it. I love doing it. It's long, slow, arduous process. I might have like 15-20 tracks of an 8-bar loop recorded over however many minutes that takes. Do the math, and out of it is going to come an 8 or 16 or 24 bar solo that's pretty decent. And then I'll render that down, throw it away, put it to one side, do another one. So this solo is actually, it was comprised of 2 separate sessions, 2 15-minute sessions where I just played for a little while and came up with all of those phrases, not necessarily in that order. And then the main refrain is a composite thing. It wasn't played naturally in that structure, but once it was played, then I went and relearned it, made sure I could actually physically play it on the guitar, which isn't always possible, in terms of the positioning of the notes on the fretboard. Relearned it and then played it in fluently, and it's just, I absolutely love it. I feel kind of smart, I come up with this idea for writing guitar solos, and because it's my ears and my discretion and my taste that ultimately, I'm not saying good or bad, I'm just saying, I'm exercising that creative control over the thing, and so it's all me. I don't feel like a fraud. You should never feel like a fraud anyway, but sometimes I'm tempted to think, well, you've not learned that and played it in one, have you, so you're cheating. It's like bollocks. Anyway, right, let's move on. Harmonies, what can one say? Pauline just keeps absolutely knocking it out of the park with these harmonies. They're really, really nice.
Fill my need, leaves me helpless, rescue me with this gift of blood.
I'm undecided as to whether or not I actually want that much reverb. It's deliberate that there is that much reverb, and in the context of the song, it gives it this really kind of washy effect that I like. It's kind of mysterious and ethereal, but when you listen to it in solo, it sounds overbearing, but I don't think that's the case when it's actually in the context of the song.
I need, leaves me helpless, rescue me with this gift of blood.
That's the sound I'm going for, so I'm tempted to not turn it down. I like it. Total overhaul of the drums. So you can see the division of labour between BFD and machine, and at the moment it's still the VSTs are still in use. I haven't actually rendered them down to audio yet, but I have separated them all out into their individual channels, so I've got that ability to start mixing the drums now, which I've been talking about in other Back on Track episodes recently. I'm starting to come to the conclusion that I want to mix as I go, and I don't care who tells me I'm wrong. That's what I want to do, so that by the time I get to the stage where I'm really ready to do the proper actual capital letter mixing, including the panning and the fine-tune EQ control and all that, I'm not that far away to start with. I don't want to have this big waterfall approach. It's bad in software development to do an entire version without thinking about version 2 first. That's called the waterfall approach in application development, and it's just a terrible, outdated idea. And I don't want to do that with music either. I want it to be an evolutionary process. I want the sounds to be as good as they possibly can at all times, and I think that helps you be creative. If you're enjoying listening to the thing and it all sounds good, then you've not got a big jump when you come to do the mixing at the end of the day. At least that's my philosophy. So I got the drums to the stage where I think, yep, I'm happy with them now. So I'm not going to be adding other sounds in and or other VST instruments. Go to the effort of giving them all their independent mixer channels, and so they're still just coming out of BFD and Machine at the moment, and at some point very soon I'll render them to audio, and that will be that done. But I like the drums. I think they're again, it's they're coming together well, and from a perspective of sounding kind of insipid and weak, we've now got a pretty healthy not much wrong with that. Nice clear crisp sounds sit nicely in the mix. So that's where we are with Masquerade. A little bit more settling on the guitar parts, which are in, which are out. You can see I'm still toying with muting entire sections, particularly with this new solo arriving. It was sounding a little bit cluttered, but yeah, we're pretty close to the final mix on this one. So if you subscribe and hit notifications, then you'll find out when that is. I hope to see you then. Thanks very much for watching.